Good Ninja, OJ over here from PlayerEssence, and welcome to the PE News video. Today, we have some fantastic information for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So, Dragon's Dogma Dark Horizon launches on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One on October 3rd in the West. Plus, we have a new trailer and screenshot. So, Dragon's Dogma Dark Horizon will launch on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on October 3rd in North America and in Europe. Capcom has confirmed today. In Japan, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions will launch alongside the PC version, which has already been released in the West on October 5th. Here's a brief overview of the game just so you can kind of get to know what Dragon's Dogma is all about. Based in an epic fantasy setting, Dragon's Dogma Dark Horizon combines exhilarating and deep combat with the freedom to explore and interact in this rich and detailed world. Choose between 9 different classes and embark on your own adventure along with 3 AI companions, known as pawns. These allies fight independently, develop alongside your character, and can be shared or borrowed online in exchange for treasure, tips, and more. This version contains the original Dragon's Dogma, along with all additional content from its expansion Dark Horizon, including the Bitterback Isle area filled with challenging new enemies and quests, and additional high-level weapons and armor sets. So you can see the trailer that's going on right here, and also if you go to the link in the description below, you can check out new screenshots. So Dragon's Dogma is a game that I actually tried out one time, I think on the PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360, probably Xbox 360, and while it was okay, oh no, there was a demo, there we go. There was a demo of the game and I tried that out, and while it was okay, I just wasn't really floored by the graphics or floored by the gameplay too much. I know I was following the game back then, like I was like, oh, this looks kind of cool, like especially when they showed it off at first. I was like, man, this could be like a brand new, RPG that I can get into. But when I started playing it, it just didn't feel right to me. So I don't know, and that was pretty much the end of it. I never bought the original game, I never bought the expansion, I didn't buy the PC version, I didn't buy anything else from there or any of the re-releases, because I know that they've done other stuff with Dragon's Dogma, and I think there's like an online game or whatever the case is, but I'm definitely not into the franchise. However, coming to the PS4 and Xbox One, I might think about getting into it, but I'd have to see a little bit more. Maybe you guys can tell me about this franchise and what makes it so good, because it's been around for a bit. Obviously, Capcom is still just peddling it around, and I know that they've done some things in recent times to maybe think that there might be a sequel or something coming up. Obviously, Capcom's going to port because Capcom will be Capcom, but it'll be interesting to see how well this game does and kind of the reception to it on PS4 and Xbox One with all that content in there. Now, we don't have a price on there. I think price is going to be very key, especially for a game that's already really discounted on PS3 and Xbox 360, and I think there's already like PC that you can pick it up on for cheap as well. So price is going to be a very big factor in this to see how successful it is. But overall, what are your thoughts on Dragon's Dogma? It looks cool, it seems like it'd be a game that I'm interested in, but I just remember playing it years ago and just not being really thrilled with the gameplay in the game. So let me know what you guys think, and what is the best things about Dragon's Dogma? Why do you like it? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, and moving on to the next article here. Infinite Mini Golf has went missing on the North American eShop. Yo, we need to call up the Where's Waldo here. It was missing on the eShop. So after recently launching on the Nintendo Switch, Infinite Mini Golf has gone missing on the North American eShop. However, it's still up in the Japanese and European eShops, but it's unclear why Infinite Mini Golf was taken down stateside. Now, Infinite Mini Golf was originally launched back in July 28th, but I know that some people, I think, have been saying there's been some issues with the game or potentially something going down. I'm not really sure with the online play, something like that wasn't working. I'm not sure if that's part of it and what's going on, and if that was part of it, why didn't they just take it down all over the place? Why is it just North America? Is there a particular bug? I know lots of people have reached out to the company who does the Infinite Mini Golf and said, hey, what's going on? And we haven't gotten any word at this point. So if you do have Infinite Mini Golf on the Nintendo Switch, let me know about things. Has there been problems with it? Is the online, I guess, not working, or is it not functioning correctly, or was there supposed to be? Because I know there was something like that. I just didn't follow this game too closely. Now, from what I've heard, Infinite Mini Golf is a pretty dope game, especially if you're into, like, this type of arcade golfing type of experience. So I guess it could be pretty cool. So people are definitely going to want to know why it's gone, because if they're thinking about buying it, waiting to get paid before they could, it's gone on the eShop. You can't do it. Now, thankfully, the Nintendo Switch is region free, so if you want to get it and you want it in the English language, just go onto the European eShop and just download it. But at the same time, where is it at in the North American eShop for people to pick it up? So we'll see what goes on with this. I'm going to keep my eye on this story, and I'll get you guys an update as soon as it comes back or we get word from the developers of the game. Alright, and moving on to the last article here. Square Enix says that they are working on, quote, technical adjustments for Dragon Quest XI on the Nintendo Switch. So let's get into the article here. Then I'll talk about one of my previous videos that I did about some type of Nintendo Switch conspiracy going on between the fans, and then we'll kind of wrap things up. So just this past weekend, we discussed the strange situation surrounding Dragon Quest XI, Nintendo everything is writing as far as on the Switch. And even though the release on Nintendo Switch has been confirmed for a while now at this point, Square Enix has yet to show anything about the game as far as on the Nintendo Switch. The executive producer of the game, in a recent Japanese interview, where according to him, he explained that it takes time to work on technical adjustments, so Square Enix is still in a state to where they can't speak about a launch date for that version of the game. However, the Switch version is being developed with the intent to release it. I mean, of course it is. You see the lines in Japan, people waiting for the Switch version, over 1-point-something million people that have already bought it. Of course they're going to release it. Dragon Quest XI has already shipped on the 3DS and the PlayStation 4. The Western release is planned for 2018, but Square Enix is kind of keeping quiet on what platforms that will be released on, but I would guess that it would be all of those platforms: 3DS, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. Why would you not release it on all those platforms? So yeah, we'll see what happens going forward there. But I do feel with this whole thing, like Square Enix with Dragon Quest and like the conspiracy theories, let's get into that first. So people were saying that Sony has paid them to make sure that they don't show off the Switch version because that version would be the one that people wait for, whereas this information that they're giving us technically kind of contradicts that information there, if you were to believe in that. Now, I never believed in that 100% to begin with, as far as Sony paying for it, for them not to just show it at all. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but at the same time, I just didn't believe it because there wasn't any evidence or anything leading to that. It's just skepticism combined with the internet, you know? So that's what happens when you get skepticism combined with the internet and then no information on the Nintendo Switch version, where a lot of people would be interested in that version of the game, portability of the 3DS, graphics like the PlayStation 4 or similar to it, that type of version. So yeah, people are definitely going to want to be interested in that. And with this information that we got here, it kind of goes with what I was kind of saying, like, hey, they need time to work on it a little bit more. Obviously, Nintendo Switch dev kits weren't out at the same time. PlayStation 4 and 3DS obviously had way more time for them to develop on, whereas Nintendo Switch, although they announced it back in 2015 or whatever the case was, that doesn't mean it was being developed since then. That doesn't mean they had a dev kit right there and like, okay, let's work on it alongside the other versions. And on top of that, this game was still being worked on years before 2015. They didn't start working on Dragon Quest XI in 2015. It's been in development for, I think, like 4 or 5 years, maybe even a little bit longer. So they've been working on this for a while. You can't just press a button and then all of a sudden everything works. I know the internet likes to think that because this is Unreal Engine 4 and some developers have come out and said, hey, yeah, this is easier to do this. That doesn't mean every game is like that based on what you're doing within Unreal Engine 4. It's going to take some time to do technical adjustments. You're going to have to optimize, and if you don't optimize, you're going to end up with the Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 situation, to where you have a rushed port, to where there's frame rate issues, to where, yeah, it might look okay, but at the same time, it's not running okay. It definitely could have looked better, and there was issues. So I don't fault them for not taking the Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 stance and rushing it out there and rushing to show it when it doesn't look very good and it doesn't play very good. So let them take their time, let them make sure it's optimized, get those technical adjustments worked out, then show it when it's ready and release it when it's ready. I'd rather just wait for that than sit back and say, okay, we get this product and it's not a very good game, then we get patch after patch after patch after patch, you know, to fix it. Although I do feel with Square Enix, especially when it comes to Dragon Quest and the Nintendo Switch, you have to make sure that you get things correct. Like, you can't sit here, like I said, with Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 and have a game that just comes out and it's not good enough, especially with this game, because this isn't just any game. This isn't a spin-off. Some of the other games that Square Enix has done, like I Am Setsuna for the Switch and other stuff, those are smaller titles. This is your main flagship title. But not only that, but they have a big plan for this game to be big in the United States, big in the Western territory. territories. They want Dragon Quest to be better. They want Dragon Quest to be bigger, like as big as it is in Japan, or at least somewhere near that. And if you come out with the game on a system as popular as the Switch, as good as the Switch, and it's not up to par, that already sends a bad, like, a negative like vibe to not only the fans but also to your franchise that you're putting it out on there. So you can't have that. I mean, I can point back to lots of other stuff, maybe not with Square Enix outside of the whole Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, but like Sega with Bayonetta. Like Bayonetta 1 came out on the Xbox 360. That was a pretty good version of the game, but then there was the PS3 version. That was a bad version of the game, and it definitely probably hurt the reputation of Bayonetta in order for the sales. I mean, I know it sold okay, ended up, but I think after it was heavily discounted, it actually started selling on the PS3. So that could hurt the reputation of the game, hurt the sales. So you don't want to have a bad game. You don't want it to be glitchy. You don't want it to have issues, or people are just not going to like that. And you're going to end up losing a lot of customers. So I'm okay with Square Enix taking their time in order to adjust it, and hopefully the final product is really good. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. It really helps us spread the content of PlayerEssence across the interwebs in addition to YouTube. Also make sure you check out our Patreon page, pledge any tier, and be entered into win some awesome prizes each month. In addition to that, we have $10 prize eShop tournaments for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, and more. So support PE Live and PE Arena right here on PlayerEssence. Also make sure you hit that like button if you did like this video. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for the latest news, reviews, discussions, and more. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you for the next video. Peace.